Welcome back from the break. You're still watching NTV Sport Nights this Monday, 3rd June, as Uganda prepares for its maiden game. The Uganda Cricket Cranes will be in action at 3 a.m. in Guyana. Letting you know also that we are proudly sponsored by Predator, an energy drink that will help you conquer as you go about your daily hustle. You can get a bottle for only 2,000 shillings. Now, joining me today as we talk about winning is Mr. Moses Nkata, the Kawempe Muslim Ladies assistant coach, and Phiona Nabulime, the captain of the Kawempe Muslim Ladies. Welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Madam Nabulime.
Thank you.
We have kept you late today, but I guess as winners you do put in long hours, and there's a lot of sacrifice that you do put in. But we are so grateful. Congratulations. How has the season been? I'll start with you.
The season?
Yes.
It's been a tough one, but we always planned that the solitude to be good enough, you must be facing tough challenges. So for us, we knew we were second last season, and this season has a chance to improve on our performance. And that's what we had to build on. When you try to remember, we played the whole of the second round of last season without having a loss, and we wanted to carry it on into the next season. So I think when you look at the team, how it was, there was a lot of cohesion in it, and I think it was the right time for them to perform. Because when you have players, Phiona was coming into the team last season, it wasn't good enough, because when you look at when you're trying to build a team, it has some stages. It has to have a forming stage where players have to come together. Then you have the storming stage where they have to get used to the new challenges. Then you move on the norming stage where they understand what the team needs, and not until they come to the performance stage. So I think this was the right time when the players had to deliver. They were together for quite some time, and the quality in them was good enough that it would be disappointing if they didn't deliver. Most of them have done it for the school at different levels. Phiona Nabulime was the captain of the national team when they went for Sikafa Under-18. We went to, last time we were in Rwanda, we won the Under-19 with the school team. So when you have a team that has been together, and those are the players, the same players in the school team, the same players who play for the club team. So then another thing, what we did, we had to do the retention policy, where we didn't have to let go of our best performers. Unfortunately, only one player had to leave for greener pastures. That was the captain by then, Aisha Nantom, who went to Denmark for games with a different team. So the rest who were staying, they were staying for a cause. So you can only leave for better, not just moving away. So we had to retain them. So when you retain the good players, it gives confidence to them that you return to do a purposeful job. So to them, I'm grateful they did the job, and hopefully we can still keep on doing it.
You know, before Isma comes in, I recently did a change management course, and they're talking about those things, you know, forming, norming, I think performing, that you've just mentioned, the tenets of change management. So it's very...
It's interesting that you're redoing your class.
Exactly, by listening to football.
In real life.
So these things actually happen. Yes.
And I know when he was speaking, he kept talking about the club and the school. Now, the viewer there, Kawempe Muslim is known for school. I actually thought the first thing, I looked at Phiona, I'm like, Phiona, you have hair. I'm thinking, yeah, you know, high school and hair. And I was going to ask, why do you have hair? To start with, it's Kawempe Muslim, yeah?
As coach said, it is a school and a club. So I had just finished my Form 6, and so there had to be some amendments. Being a girl at a time, you know, you crave for a lot of things. I mean, plaiting hair, looking good. The fact that I play football, that doesn't take away the fact that I'm a girl.
Yeah, that's right.
And I thought of maybe changing myself. Viewers there are seeing some hair here. But that was a time when I never had hair.
Yeah.
So some may be wondering, is that really Phiona? But I mean, it's me, so that's some kind of change. And it's a school. By the time we played East Africa, I never had hair.
Yeah.
And when we resorted to the club, then I had to play it here. And there is a certain game we played, and then my fans were like, Phiona has played it here, then we have to win. So, I mean, that's changed.
Wouldn't you be a bad influence? Because I would imagine the club has girls in school, and then people like you. Wouldn't you then, are you a bad or good influence in a certain way to some of the younger girls?
Influence comes in. I mean, me playing here doesn't take away my personality.
Yeah, sure.
And being a leader, like I embrace, I welcome everyone, call it young, call it adult. I mean, me playing here doesn't take away the words I may tell a young one, I may tell an adult. It's all about the many words I tell them, they have to pick a few that really add an ounce of weight to them. So that might be an influence. I might influence them in a different way, but it has to be positive.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
if I can
you
say
are
something.
inspired. That's inspirational, and you have been inspiring many. What inspires you? And it's great that you are playing football, a man's game.
well,
you know when she talks about man's game, you come to watch when you come to watch you girls. Then someone drops the ball. One of the girls screams, "Tosula mpira gwa basajja, tosula mpira gwa basajja." Then I'm thinking,
So, man of the match. Is there a woman of the match placard?
Yes, these days there is. I was saying at the World Cup, in Australia, that's what they're doing. Tosula mpira gwa basajja.
well, if I say something, it might act as women emancipation in some way, but I have to say we decided to come into this beautiful game. It is a man game, but there are same demands, so we had to adjust. I mean, there is a way a girl kicks a ball and it soars in the air just like a man's ball, and then you'd be like,
yeah, because
really?
When they show those videos, that free kick on the final day, that free kick that put you in the lead, that got all the fans jumping onto that stadium.
Actually,
at the
that free kick, if you watch it again, that technique was Cristiano Ronaldo technique. If you watch it again.
So when she talks about the demands, and I can imagine the transition, and for people like you, Nkata, who you've been part of a game before Kawempe, now you have to start to work with the girls. There isn't a specific coaching course for coaching the game different to a different gender. How has this transition been, and to see the growth of Kawempe? There's a time when they were winning and couldn't stop. That Sandra Nabwe Temesh Hasfa Nasuna generation, eventually Juliet Narukenge. Then there's a dry spell. All of a sudden you can't win, survive relegation, I think 2 years ago. Then now back to the top. How can you tell that story?
Yeah, actually, when you look back and see how we had lost the steps of trying to compete, because we were competing, but at a certain level you see that the winners have an edge against us. But when you try to look back, we had a very good team. When you try to look back before COVID-19, we had players like Shamira Nawija, we had players like Margaret Komehira, we had players like Anita Namata, we had Aisha Natongo. Actually, we were playing that season, we were still unbeaten until COVID came in. I think that's the season we had not played. There's a percentage which is regarded for a team to take the lead. For the men's league, Express took the lead by then. So when we went to COVID, different players had to leave, and they had to go different ways. So it's like we are trying to rebuild again how we can cope up with the team. So it wasn't easy, but we had a plan. And that's the plan we had. We had to call back the Adijananda girls from the loan spells they were. Adijananda was at Isra. We had to bring in new players from the junior teams, like we always do. And luckily enough, our junior team is doing well. We went in Zanzibar. They finished third in the Africa.
CAF Pan-Africa Schools Championship.
And they won the Regional League of Kampala. So according to rules, they are eligible to play now in the Elite League. So we shall think about that. So when you see that we have still young girls coming up, we know the future is stronger. So that's what we're doing basically. Because
Coach, I'd love to know, how different is it managing girls versus men? And then at Phiona, growing up, I mean, we didn't see much of women football. So you come in now, I see the way you talk about it, you're excited about it, and you're in school. Of course, you're going to continue from here. Just how do you see yourself in the game of football? When you look at it, is it something you look at seriously that could go all the way? We could play maybe at AFCON, or maybe go to some club that is way better than, better than the current level, Where do you see, both academically and the game, where do you see yourself going? That's hand you.
So who starts?
Phiona goes first.
Well, as I said, I'm excited about this beautiful game because way back, girls were not more indulged into that game. It just came in, and I'm excited that I'm part of the few that love this beautiful game. I was in school and embracing this game the very first time. I came to Kawempe, I think that was my Form 5. I thought it wouldn't really be easy for me because I was coming from Masaka and joining Kampala players. I noticed of a few players, Nasuna, Naweteme, those hyped players. So I was like, maybe I would go and fit in. So I see myself, because I'm really proud of a woman I'm becoming, being a captain of this incredible team, being a captain of a national team. That is something immensely I'm proud of. Wow. So I think you talked of a certain level that I hope to go. Going to CAF is one of the very first thing I would be proud of. Taking my team to represent a country. I mean,
after Uganda was there at the last Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
In Morocco.
Yeah, in Morocco. So CAF is the first step, and there's a lot more I'm looking at. I would also love to be a professional player.
Yeah.
I would also love to go to a club, but this is, it calls for determination, resilience, amalgamated by your desire. You're craving more for something. You have to put in, hard work doesn't guarantee success, but I'm sure there's no work that guarantees failure. Sure. So I'm just focused. I'm just super proud of what I'm becoming.
And at least you have a lot of examples, because currently Uganda has a lot of girls who have turned pro, and that is a guiding light. And luckily, unlike in the men's game, where sometimes this comes at the cost of education, most of the girls at least have stayed in school, at least the ones I've interacted with. If you see someone like Sandra Nabulime, part of a core that started the Kawempe success all those years ago, then she goes to the US, gets a scholarship. You see Tracy Jones at Kirol, part of the last Kawempe team to win in 2018. There's a lot of them. There's so many examples that have been able to do a bit of both, especially in a set of hours where you still need the fallback position. Mbappe could choose to become a footballer at 12 and give up on everything. We've all seen his pictures, at the age of 12, dreaming of Real Madrid. Phiona Nabulime does not have the same opportunity to focus on football at 12. Because our society has a lot,
but
has a lot of potholes.
Maybe you mentioned finishing Form 6.
I also wanted to really know where you drew the inspiration from. Maybe you didn't come so well on it.
Drawing inspiration?
Yes. What inspired you into the beautiful game?
Well, I would love to talk of my team in Masaka. That is Divine Soccer Ministries Uganda. It's Divine Soccer Academy. When I was young, my very first inspiration was my brother. He's called Magu Kazibwe Julius. He played for Budu FC. When I was young, I used to go around the Masaka ground. I could always crave to see him play. I could always see the fan base. Everyone was screaming out for him. So, I don't know. I used to be caught. My eyes could always look and see, where is my brother? And everyone was like, oh, Kazibwe, Kazibwe. So, I also craved for that moment. I felt like I should also have
screaming Phiona,
yeah,
Phiona.
yes, Phiona. So, you know, that thing is really nice, moving around, and everyone is like, that girl is really good.
And now you're carrying trophies.
And then carrying trophies at this moment, and a very young age. So, it is something to really embark on. So, I was inspired by my brother, and I went to the pitch. My coaches really believed in me in the very first place. They could always push me, because by then the girls couldn't play football. There were very few of them, and there were few clubs, there were few academies supporting girls, but they came in, so they pushed, and there are more talents coming in. It is not only Phiona Nabulime at this time coming from Masaka. There are a lot more girls coming in with talents, incredible talents and skills. So my inspiration just came from my brother. And then the supportive environment I had from my coach. My parents were also supportive. Yeah, that is something to note. Once you're supported by different people and people you feel that they love you, so of course you have to go ahead with that dream.
True.
Yeah. The coach had a question from Andrew.
Yes, you are telling me how I find coaching the ladies and the men.
Yeah.
I happen to be... I started coaching at a very young age, and I was in Kawempe Football Association.
Hey, Kayofa.
Yes, where I had a team. So, one of the first girl who almost brought football in Kawempe Muslim is Sarah Kavanda. And that was, I think, I knew her in 1998. So, around 2001, I was in Kaifa with Tropical, and Sarah would come to play in my team.
Yeah.
And by that time, my team had people like Tom Masiko. Sarah would play midfield and make assists to Masiko's.
Wow.
And they would play the game. So that's where my love came with the game. I was imagining girls can play really well. So what I've seen in girls, it's about the personality. You need to know more of their personality, unlike the boys. The boys can be taken in the same group, and they can push themselves further. But for the girls, you must know Fiona's personality, you must know Hadija's personality, and you go deep and know. So you see how you can really impact them, and so that they can become a team. So that's the only difference. And for them, another thing, they don't push themselves so fast. So they need to have that inner thing that pushes them. They're not more seeing a lot of things. Like as you can see girls, a girl can see someone with a Benz and go with someone with a bicycle. So for them, the energy should come from inside within.
Inside them,
Inside within, so which can push them. So you must look for things that can really inspire them deep from their hearts, setting their goals to know where they can be, because that's possible.
You almost made me want to buy a bicycle.
Where do they want to see themselves in future?
Yeah.
So that's something which can really happen. Because I've seen talented ones who have given up. But you can see someone who's really willing to learn, getting better than the other one. So you see the one who used to have potential, giving up, but the other one who's pushing harder, getting better.
You know, Coach, one of those, and luckily now women's football has a lot of good examples. I sat on a flight with Ruth Arturo some time back, I think early last year. She was going back to where she plays her football. And we had quite a conversation about being a player, so many things. And you know, there's a lot of idle time on the flight, even if it's very, very short, You're a lot of idle time. And I imagine the kind of examples that now these girls have. sometimes I feel sorry for players like Olivia Mbekeka or Farida Vlega or Majida Nanta and now a coach, the ones who took Uganda to that AFCON at the start of this millennium in the early 2000s. Maybe the only examples they had were themselves. I don't think they had the kind of access and knowledge to television like I did watching Mia Hamm at the 1999 World Cup for the USA when she was doing all that great stuff. I'd imagine now Phiona Nabulime, when the national team is summoned, and you look at where Fauzi and Najemba has been able to go, playing in a very, very tough place in Russia, and sustaining and being, and we could all sense the improvement. I remember the first time I saw when she had just returned pro, I was thinking, you must be a pro, I brought out all the Bugwe in me, just to know how much she had been transformed physically to get to that level. And now Uganda got to the AFCON where, while they were knocked out in the group stages, and I still argue, I thought Sumaya Komontale's red card was wrong. I thought the referee was very, very bad and unkind to us, very harsh on the day. And then that squandered. But even in that game, Uganda had very good chances. I thought Najemba should have buried one of them. So there's a lot of things that you can look up to. But maybe finally, the thing that hits me is Kawempe Muslim. The school, why all this support? What is the entry point that has got that Hajati on that podium receiving the trophy beyond the glitter to support women's football the way they are doing right now? When I was in school, Kawempe wasn't playing any football. Okay, even in the men's, we used to beat them. I was in Chibuli.
And we have only 30 seconds for your answer.
30 seconds could be little, but I'll try to. Now it's like when you maybe try to construct, to dig a well in the village, and people are trying to come and use the well to get water. So when Kawempe was starting football, basically, the girls who used to play football were not on scholarship and nothing more. So whenever they could study and finish senior 6, they could get 4 added points at the university. And that was a total weight which could help them acquire courses which they desired. So we could do that every year. And that's how the game started. The game was sustained. So time came when we are now no longer on that. It's more than even that. So that's how we continued to get scholarship. And I think Masunga Zamino was the first girl to have a scholarship. She's now a lawyer. That was 2010. So we started to continue the process. The scouting is going on, and that's how the school is now known for that. So it started simple, but it's now stronger.
Okay, thank you very much, Moses and Phiona, for sharing with us your winning formula. As Kawempe Muslim, we wish you all the very best in the next season. NTV Sport Nights takes a short break. Do stay with us.